In part two of this orientation video, I'm going to show you some of the features in Cengage now that you will be utilizing throughout the semester. So as I mentioned before, you have two different types of assignments, lecture assignments and homework assignments. When you're looking at the lecture assignments, again, these are short videos that are covering certain learning objectives. And this is a great way for you to really hear about the material, the terminology first, before ever actually going in and doing any of the assignments. They give you examples, they walk you through some examples on how to actually come up to a correct answer for a certain problem. So it's a great way, again, to first touch this information. So you'll see you have in this one 6 questions that you have to do. And to watch the video, all you do is click on the link that's provided above, and then you answer the questions that are associated with that. Down here, you see that you have one check your work per question, which means you get one for each one of these 6 questions, not one for each one of the questions contained in the question. So you get one check your work. It will tell you what you've done right and what you've done wrong. Please make sure that if you, again, for example, do the first 3 and you want to go make dinner, you have to run to work, to another class, that you come down here and click save and exit. That will save your progress for what you've done. Do not hit the submit assignment for grading button until you have actually answered all 6 of those questions. If you submit that assignment, it is going to submit it for you and you can't get back into that attempt. So please make sure you simply save and exit and then come back. And once you finish, then you can submit the assignment for grading. If you hit this button by accident, it gives you a warning. So if by accident you hit that, don't hit the submit for grading, just click on the continue taking assignment and it will bring you back and then you can do your save and exit. If you happen to finish all 6 questions and you said, you know what, I just want to review it one more time before I submit it, and you save and exit it out, please make sure that you come back in and actually submit the assignment for grading by the due date and time. The system is not going to submit your assignment for you. You have to do that. And if you do not submit your assignment for grading by the due date and time, I do not get it, and therefore you do not get credit for it in the class. So please make sure all of your assignments are submitted for each one of the assignments that you have due for a particular chapter. You also have homework assignments. And again, the way that this is broken down, again, you see for chapter 9, you have a lecture assignment, then a homework assignment, and then another lecture assignment, another homework assignment. I'm breaking down each chapter into chunks so that you're learning material that kind of fit nicely together piece by piece so that it gives you a lot of practice as you go along. So when you get to the homework assignments are going to be problem-based. So these are going to be actually applying the concepts and topics that are covered in the chapter. So when you're in one of these, don't forget you can resize the windows so that you can have everything that you need right beside you so that there's no scrolling back and forth. Please make sure if there's anything that says additional instructions that you click on that. So sometimes it gives you instructions about how to enter a date or how to enter entries or things like that. Please make sure you read through those. Down here, you'll see that you get 3 check your works per question. Again, this one has 10 questions in it. You get 3 check your works for each one of those 10 questions. Again, save and exit and submit the assignment. You'll also see a button called Email Instructor. So if you're getting stuck on something, you can simply click this button. And what the system does is that it takes a screenshot of the question that you are working on, and then it also gives you an email box to send me an email. So you can say, Professor Quinn, I'm very stuck on part 2. Can you please explain that to me? So you don't have to worry about trying to take screenshots off of your computer or cell phone pictures and sending them to me. The system will actually do this for you. And I can see exactly what you're looking at, what you've already entered, and get back to you. The only thing that I will caution you to is that when I respond to this email, it's going to go back to you in whatever email that you log into Cengage now with. So if that's a personal email or if that's your NECC email, that is where it's going to go. If you haven't heard from me for about 24 hours after you've sent this email, please check your spam or junk folder, because sometimes the first time you get one, it gets kicked into that. So just double check your spam or junk folder if you haven't heard from me within a day. So when you check your work, it's going to provide you some feedback. It's going to tell you what you've done right and what you've done wrong. And it's going to give you some helpful hints as you're doing that. Also, across the top, you have some additional resources. So if you're really stuck, you can click right here and it's going to bring you to the exact section of the ebook where you can find this topic. So instead of trying to flip through your book or scan through the ebook to try to figure out where it is, all you have to do is click on that link. It's going to open it to the exact section where that topic is actually discussing that item. So it's going to give you some examples, things like that. You also have a show me how video. So these are different than my Professor Quinn example videos, but similar in the fact that it's going to show you how to do a problem that's similar to the one that you are currently working on. So you can watch a part of the video, pause it, go back to your question, apply to what you're doing, and so on and so forth. There's a calculator. You can actually print out the item first if you'd like to, and do it out by hand and then enter it. Very often you're given a chart of accounts, and if you start to misspell a word, by example, it's going to turn red for you. So if you started to write accounts receivable and you misspelled it, it's going to turn red. It'll also turn red for you if that account that you're entering is not in the chart of accounts. So just to give you an example here, the other thing that you will notice is that for every chapter, I have created what I call a practice set. So every chapter, there's a practice set. There's a lot of questions in the practice set. They're all algorithmic, and you can take these practice sets as many times as you want. You can check your work as many times as you want. It's really there for your benefit to get you help on topics that you feel like you need extra help with. So you'll see for chapter 9, this practice set has 21 questions in it. You do not have to answer all 21 questions. You can say, okay, this is the question that I've really had some issues with. I want some more practice with this topic. And just answer questions that you feel you want a little extra help with. Again, you can check your work as many times as you want. You can still email me if you have questions. You can still save your progress, and so on. If you went in and just answered this one question, for example, and you've checked your work 20 times and you still can't figure out the right answer, you can submit the assignment for grading. Doesn't matter that you haven't answered all the questions because it's not being graded. If you submit it for grading, it's going to tell you your score, and right here you can view assignment results. So what's that going to do is it's going to open up that assignment again, and any question that you've attempted, it's going to show you the answers that you have entered. It's going to show you the correct answers, and it's going to provide you feedback on how to arrive at the correct answers. So students in the past have said these practice sets are so beneficial, especially right before an exam, to run through to make sure that you really have a solid understanding of the material. Even though this is an online class and technically then it's open notes and open books for your exams, if you do not study for these exams, you are going to run out of time very quickly. So please make sure you're still preparing as if you had to come into a class to take these exams. Because if you're trying to flip through your notes or your textbook or look something up in the ebook for every single question, you are going to run out of time. And again, your quizzes and your tests are both timed. You will also have a link in here. So every time you submit an assignment, it's going to automatically grade for you. And it's going to go into your grades tab once you submit it. The minute that you submit a homework assignment, you can go in, click on your grade for a homework assignment. It will open that assignment back up. You'll be able to see again the correct answers, the answers you submitted, and feedback onto how to arrive at the correct answers. One of the best ways we learn is learning from our mistakes, and this is a great way to learn from your mistakes. So if you go in and you do a homework assignment, you've spent 2 hours doing it, you submit it and you get a 70 on it, or a 60 or a 50 or even an 80 or a 90, go in here, click on your assignment grade, and see what you did right and see what you did wrong. Figure out what you did incorrectly. And again, the system is wonderful about providing very detailed feedback. If there's a calculation involved, for example, it's going to show you how to do that calculation properly. And then you can retake that assignment, now understanding it better, and you'll be able to do better on that second attempt and have that better grade count for you. When you're in the assignment tab, you'll see assignments I can take now is what it defaults to. If you want to see all assignments, you can click here. And again, those practice sets, which are found right here under assignments I can practice now. every time you submit a take on an assignment in a practice set, you can take it again. And when you take it for the second time or the third time or the fifth time, every one of those questions repopulates with new information and numbers. So if there's one thing that you just want to do over and over and over again, you can take that 10 different times and all the information will regenerate every single time to new information. Same thing with your homework assignments. Every time you take a homework assignment more than once, it's the same topic, same question, but the numeric information has changed. So there's a lot of additional practice that you can do. Also, under study tools, if you go to the adaptive study plan, you will find that every chapter that we're going to be talking about has its own individual item that you can start studying. So let's say we click on Start Studying. You can check to see how well that you are doing in a given chapter. So it's a quick multiple choice quiz, again, not graded. And when you're done, it's going to give you a grade per learning objective on how well that you've done. You can also see the questions that were asked, and it will show you if you got it right or wrong, and it will also show you the correct answer. And if you want to improve your score, you can come in here and say, okay, I want to quiz myself maybe just on this one learning objective, or maybe I need something that's getting me some more help. If you click on more help, that gives you all those show me how videos that are embedded in a lot of your homework assignments. It also gives you additional practice that you can do. So this is a great way to kind of see how well you're doing throughout the semester for a certain chapter. Great to run through those practice quizzes before you actually take one of our quizzes. And you can quiz yourself as many times as you want for each learning objective or the entire chapter in total. If you've never used the ebook before, it's a wonderful interactive ebook. You can actually highlight different things. You can put a sticky note next to it by adding a note, or you can have the textbook read to you. If you just want something specific read to you, you can click read text, or if you want the entire page read to you, you can do that over here on the right-hand side. Over here is where you're going to find all of your notes and highlights that you make. You can print these out to study from, for example, and it's going to show you exactly what you've highlighted. It's going to show you the notes that you've taken. It's going to show you the date that you took those. And if you click on that little blue arrow, it's going to bring you to the exact page in the textbook where you did that note or that highlight. If you want the textbook read to you, but you don't like the speed or tone of the voice, you can actually change that here. So you can change the speed and you can change the voice. And there are flashcards embedded in here for you as well. So every chapter, there's already a whole stack of flashcards with the term and the definition. You can shuffle the deck, you can create your own card. Again, wonderful thing to kind of run through before a quiz to make sure you really understand that terminology. So Cengage has a lot of wonderful resources in here for you, but they're only wonderful if you utilize them. So please take advantage of them. Again, the first thing that you'll see is that you have the Intro to Cengage Now assignment available for you to take. Once you've completed this assignment, you can come back and the next assignment will populate here for you. If, for example, let's say you took the Chapter 9 lecture assignment part 1, you've passed it with over a 72.5, and you come back to the assignment page and you don't see the next one, just refresh the page. Sometimes certain browsers won't populate it as quickly, so just do that if you need to. If you have any questions with any part of Cengage or anything to do with the course, please make sure to get in touch with me and I'll be happy to walk you through anything that you need some extra help with. I'm really looking forward to working with all of you this semester. I hope you have a great start to the spring semester.